Infraspinatus has to fight alone against these strong internal rotators, and they can't win this game without your help. So please give them a hand. So you can move your body up and down or side to side. Hi guys, 안전조이, Mr.Physio here. In the last video we talked about why the infraspinatus is so important when it comes to shoulder problems and why we need to do lengthening exercises, which I'm going to show you today. And this study is worth a look before we move on. In this study, they measured external rotation strength at different angles of shoulder abduction. So 0 degree, 45, 90, 135 degree. And the findings are very interesting because they didn't find any change in external rotation strength. But they also found infraspinatus activity diminished dramatically as the arm goes up. What does this suggest? There are some helpers, right? In the last video it was mentioned there are only two external rotators, infraspinatus and teres minor. But the researchers believe teres minor is too small to create this effect. Surprisingly, what they suggest is Serratus Anterior activity, which was 3 times higher at 135 degree compared to 0 degree. This is not completely proven, but what their theory is, when the shoulder blade sits like that, Serratus Anterior tilts your shoulder blade backwards. And the strong internal rotators, including pectoralis major and minor, that pulls your shoulder inwards, and that tilts your shoulder blade forward. So that's called anterior tilt, and this is called posterior tilt. So if the serratus anterior is properly activated when you lift your arm up out to the side, that will prevent the anterior tilt of the shoulder blade, which may reduce the strong activities of the internal rotators. So internal rotators and external rotators work against each other. So if the internal rotator activity is inhibited, that will help activate this external rotator. And another study shows the infraspinatus activity is strongest in that upright position, sitting or standing, compared to lie on your side doing that, or lie on your tummy doing this kind of exercises. So if you combine those two results together, we can say the infraspinatus works best in the upright position rather than this position. When you do this exercise, you have to remember 3 things. First of all, shoulders back. The second is always point your thumb to the direction where you are pushing your arm into. And the last one, always have some space between your arm and the trunk, about 5 centimeter. 0 degree, neutral position. Push your right hand into your left hand. So that will activate my right infraspinatus. And you try to pull in with your left hand. Okay, so while resisting through that right side, you try to pull the right hand in towards your belly. So that will generate about 30-40% of its power. My left side is pulling it in with about 50%. Later on, you can actually increase the strength and speed as well. So once you can do the small range, we'll go into wider range. Bring your arm out to the side a little bit more and just pull it in. Do the same exercises. Especially when you have the shoulder pain, this kind of movement can be painful. So you do that exercise within that pain-free range. Some people find it difficult to reach over with your left hand, especially in that wider range. So 0 degree, shoulders back, 5 centimeter away from your body, thumbs pointing that way. Push out, activate that muscle. And rotating that way. So if you can do the small range, you can do the wider range. So when you do this exercise, you have to take small steps, actual steps. Some people are just doing this kind of rotating, but you have to actually turn around while pushing. So pushing in and turn towards the wall so that you end up facing the wall. And you can do the same with the band if you have this kind of band, like a rubber band. Okay, so right side, hold it there. If you pull it out with your left hand, so that will activate this right side muscle. because it's resisting against this force, right? And then you slowly bring it in. If you pull it out like this, if you do that without your left hand moving, the tension on the band will decrease, right? But to maintain the resistance on the band, keep pulling with your left hand too. Or you can have it shorter to have more resistance. Pull it out. And it's good to use the unaffected side too, because it's called cross education. When you use that unaffected side, that will stimulate the brain, that helps to activate the affected side. If you find it difficult, you can actually do it with the other end of the band tied against that doorknob. Hold the band with the thumb pointing that way again, and shoulders back and down, and have a bit of space there, and maybe 2 steps out to the side. That will increase the tension, that will increase the resistance that the infraspinatus has to fight against, right? So that will activate that muscle. And from there, you're rotating your arm inwards this way. And then come back down and do the same thing. Going out to the side and rotation. And that will lengthen up the muscle while it's being used, right? And wider range is the same. Going out, 2 steps out to the side, and rotating inwards. And that's the end of my first series of shoulder impingement. And this is pretty basic, but very, very important concept. But of course, there are more to it to fix the shoulder problem. So I'll probably have to get back to it after a few videos of other contents. And thank you for watching, and see you next time. 완전 좋아요. 좋은 하루 되십시오.